All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I'm gonna cover four on this one, but I'm gonna chapter the first two together. All right, I'm gonna chapter GameStop (GME) and then Maxon Solar (MAXN). I think those two are the same chapter mainly because of the same earnings headlines I'm seeing. All right, GameStop does have earnings happening as I'm speaking right now. It looks like Maxon already dropped them, and the biggest thing that is catching my eye on both is a beat of earnings per share. All right, if you watch my videos, you hear me say it all the time. EPS to me is those are the most important letters in an earnings call, and if you can beat EPS, that's generally a good thing. All right. Oddly, neither had a monster enough day given how good those EPS beats are. All right. Now, obviously, GameStop hasn't had a regular hour trade yet. That'll happen tomorrow. But yeah, that's why I wanted to lump those two together. All right. Let me just flash the Maxon chart real quick. Maxon was doing well. I know I saw it around 8%. Looks like it closed around 5%. But yeah, again, an interesting day, an interesting volume move. Again, 105 million is a big number, but it's still under the line, right? But yeah, interesting earnings headlines. I'll talk about that shortly. CHWY is the next one I want to talk about. And I mean, just look at this thing, right? I hope you see it before I even have to say anything. But we are over all five moving averages. We have a positive MACD. We have an RSI that's green over red in a healthy area. We need a little bit more. We need a bit more confirmation, but this one is on the cusp of what could be a really nice move, actually. I think CHWY is well worth eyes. And then GNS. All right. I have a 75-cent line right here. I, for real, am not trying to give any credit to this line. This was a little bit of a random pop in my head. I'm not seeing a lot of news either, so I'm just kind of looking at the technicals mainly. But hey, we're trying to get over the 8 and go to the 20 at the minimum is what I'm seeing, right? So super low RSI needed to recover, and yeah, I mean when you're gonna break the 50-day volume line, good things will happen, right? So GNS a little bit more of a pump and dump concern in the back of my head, I think, but nonetheless, I actually think all four of these are well worth eyes tomorrow. I'll give you my thoughts of what needs to happen. Oh man, as I'm speaking, this thing is dumping. Again, you know, I always say post market does not matter as much as regular hours. Pre market does not matter as much as regular hours, right? That's why I make my videos after hours when the regular is closed for a reason. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll flash back and forth. Obviously, live earnings happening. So, yeah, so much to talk about. A bunch is on my mind right now. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our five moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we're going to use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, giving me your thoughts. Oh, I'm so grateful for it all right, so let's get into the first two. And again, you can already see game on the screen. The other one I want to talk about is Maxon. All right, so both of them, and I'm going to start with Maxon because I think I already talked a good amount about. Dude, I literally just I saw that dump within that minute, man. That was a wild dump. All right, Maxon. So there was a question this morning about the Maxon news. All right, and I will be very honest, and you can see my reply was around 9 o'clock. I wake up somewhere between 8:30 and 9. I enjoy my sleep, you know what I mean? So I wake up, I see the question, and the first thing I do is actually look at the charts. I didn't even look at the headline, all right? I sincerely did not look at the headline. Maybe a swing from 9 to 12, and again, that's going to be the technical thought I talk about, right? But yeah, that's not much looking good on the based on the charts. All right, I then get into EPS. right here. So again, now at 10:20, it's been a little bit more than an hour. I've had my coffee. So MAXN beat earnings per share. All right. And to me, that is always huge. All right. For me on earnings per share is number one. Guidance for the future is number two, and then it becomes a balance of making revenue and saving expenses. You can make a really good story that says, hey, I didn't make a lot of money this quarter, but my savings were so good, I'm preparing myself for the next one, right? That's a mix of like guidance and operational, fixes, right? I've definitely seen when the revenue beats so good, it overshadows bad earnings per share. I've obviously seen great earnings per share bring bad this and that, right? Like nothing's set in stone, but generally that's my 1, 2, like 3, 4 slash right there, right? MAXN beat it and beat it well. All right. And I think the easiest thing that the charts on the technical side show me is today was the first good volume day in a while. All right. I guess you can kind of argue we've seen a couple here, but like it's except for these outliers, right? These 4 outliers, we have been well under the 50-day line since we did that crazy dump right here, right? So to me, this is a big volume, and the question's going to be, can it sustain tomorrow? Literally, the technical thoughts are the 8 to the 20, right? You can see as of today, the 8 is sitting, the average 8 moving average is sitting at 9 cents. It's the box over there on the left, right? Maybe it'll keep coming down, but yeah, it looks like it's not even going to get to 8 cents. So if we can get into a nice, comfortable 9-cent world, there's enough red to make me believe we'll go from 9 to almost 13. Let's even just call it 9 to 12, because 9 to 12 is a 33% move, right? You're adding 3 cents to a thing that only has 3 sets of 3, right? So that is a beautiful move, and to me, that would be a nice justified 33% gain based on some earnings per share breaks, all right? On the technical side, I hate a stock that's under all 5. I hate a stock that's under the 8 and the 20. I mean, I don't like low RSI. Like there's a lot on this chart to not like. And again, that's what drove my 9 a.m. first thing I look at comment of, oh, whatever the news was, doesn't matter. The technicals look horrible, right? So I think tomorrow we need to see 2 things, all right? Tomorrow we need 150 million shares traded. Okay, we need 50% more volume than we had today. We need to get over the 50-day volume line. We need volume. And that's that kind of simple math, but let's just take the math out just in case, right? I'm looking for 150 million in a 7-hour day. That should be a little more than 20, and it was, right? So I'm looking for roughly 22 million shares in the first hour, about 45 million shares in the second hour is what I'm looking for on MAXN, all right? To me, if we can do that, I'm going to start thinking 12, maybe even 13 cents, okay? I don't know if we'll come up to this 16-cent line, but hey, the 50 moving average is probably going to get around there. So like if 13 breaks, you have that. But again, this is an 8-cent stock. Thinking 16 is a little cavalier. That's a 2x move right there, right? I think the 30% move from 9 to 12, I think that would, again, very much justify the EPS, all right? Moving into GameStop right now, all right? A couple things are jumping out, and really what I'm doing is I'm looking at my phone and I'm kind of reading a couple things as I'm making this video right now, all right? But I am seeing a fantastic earnings per share beat, all right? It was expected that they were going to lose 9 cents per share. Instead, they gained 1 cent per share. That's a 10-cent beat on a loss of 9 expected, right? That's a wild, like if they literally only lost 7 cents instead of losing 9 cents, I would have called that a good beat. I really would have, right? You lost less than you were expecting. If they lost like 3 cents instead of the 9 cents, I actually would have been wildly impressed. To completely destroy the expectations of a 9 cent loss and drop down a full gain, right? Like, I'm telling you, as a normal, educated human, like I'm sure you are, I would look at that chart, I would look at that headline, and I would expect a really good big green candle instead of this crazy post market dump, right? Um, Believe me, I promise you that's what's in my head, but you hear me say it all the time. Our simple human opinions don't matter. It's what the market says that matters, right? And one more time, I'm going to say it again. On any stock, on GameStop right now, I'm saying if you are going to drop a 1 cent gain on a 9 cent expected loss for an EPS, oh my gosh, I would be ringing the cowbell and saying, let's go, right? Like it's crazy to me that this happens. But this is why I always say earnings scare me. Earnings are the craziest thing. I've seen good get bad candles. I've seen the silliest of dumbest of horrible earnings get these like 80% gains for no reason. You know what I mean? So earnings is one of those things where I'm not here to justify it. I'm not here to blame manipulation. No one cares about the money I'm trading to manipulate it. You know what I mean? I say that with a smile and love, right? To me, this is just the nonsense of the market. It is, right? So, what I will say is this: I'm not going to change my earnings per share opinions because of these two stocks, right? Again, MAXN, in my opinion, should have closed over the 8 moving average. It for sure should have. It probably should make, I don't even know if it will, right? I got no crystal ball, right? To me, GameStop, for sure, off of that, actually should have confirmed this and probably started to head up to 27, right? It's just, it's one of those things where you can't understand it. I'm going to come into the 1 minute. I'm going to go into the post market. That's a big dump in a couple minutes. All right. And it's one of those things where I don't know who did that. I don't know why that happened. I obviously see it, right? We had more than 400,000 shares sold in a 2 minute span, right? I'm not here calling that manipulation. I'm really not, right? Something triggered something. These algorithms, like there are robots that move money, right? Like I'm a human that moves my money. I log into my brokerage and I click buy, I click sell. I got no AI bots doing my stuff, right? But for sure, these billion-dollar funds have it, and somewhere, something happens, right? That's not manipulation. That's the craziness of earnings triggering stuff in my head, all right? So look, for GameStop, this is what I want to do. Give me a second. Let's come to regular hours. Can I lower that 27 line? Yep, we can. What do you look like right here? 26. I like that line. I think that's where we're going to, yeah, that's way too low. Okay, so for me, GameStop needs to get over $26. I probably should raise that line just a little bit more. I think I want it right there. 26.70. Again, I think risk reward tolerance is that range, but I think anywhere between $26 and like 26.50. Let's see, let me lower it to this because I think it was a little closer to that line. Yeah, I think 26.50. I think that's a good in between number. If GameStop can break into 26.50, I think there's a real shot that we come to 32 and then maybe more. Okay, I see that we're dumping after hours. I still sincerely believe this doesn't matter too much just yet. Okay, we have a lot of moving averages right there. We have 4 of the 5 right there, right? And it's this, the one thing I haven't seen just yet is guidance. I don't know what the guidance is. I'm seeing some revenue stuff. I think they missed revenue. I kind of don't care about revenue. Revenue was my number 3 thing, right? I haven't seen what guidance looks like. Do they think that they're going to do well next quarter? Are they talking about maybe doing buybacks or maybe doing some things? I don't know, right? The earnings per share beat is a really good anchor. And sincerely, that's giving me at least a little bit of reason to think, you know what? I think this dump could get recovered. I do, all right? What needs to happen is $22.70. I think that is a very, very critical line to hold. Truth be told, I would say our death line, it's actually basically where we're sitting right now. I would kind of call it the bottom of this end of August candle. I think I'll look, yeah, 2190. All right. This must hold 2190. Otherwise, we're going to fall to 2060 and maybe even a little bit lower. I can see the 200 moving average is kind of peaking right there. I think as long as we can hold that 2190, I sincerely believe that there's a shot that we come back to this 2270, and hey, maybe even there are 4 of the 5 moving averages very tight, and you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up. You do. It's one of those things, and we're either going to violently break up or horribly fall down. You know what I mean? I actually think I'm going to raise my line to there. Give me a sec. Let me just zoom out. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to lower it to right here. I'm going to put the line here at 2115 because I think technically that's a good line to draw. I still think that 2180-ish, 2190-ish, 2150, I'm gonna put it here. No, I do want it here. I don't care about the technicals. 2150. Hold that, and I think there's a good shot at recovering, all right? I'm repeating myself, but that's my opinions. One last time. My educated thoughts, your educated thoughts do not matter as much as the regular hour close tomorrow. Because generally speaking, after earnings, you get a wave of good, up, or you get a horrible avalanche of down until the next earnings comes, all right? Obviously, we also need 2 candles, right? We need tomorrow, and then we need what's tomorrow's after? Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, we would need Thursday to confirm, okay? But again, I got the numbers here. I've been using ChatGPT to put some summaries in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. This was a little bit long on both. Maybe I'll even break them up. We'll see how I chapter these, all right? The next one I want to look at is CHWY. All right, and the first thing I want to talk about is actually Roaring Kitty. I believe someone told me that Roaring Kitty mentioned he sold off all his CHWY. All right, I have always said, and I say it on the way up and I say it on the way down, someone else's opinions, and man, girls, that includes mine on these videos. Someone else's opinions should not dictate whether you click buy or sell. You got to do that, and I do that by using these technicals and using my personal stacks, right? My the 1 and the 2, right? But yeah, I Roaring Kitty's got a lot more money than me. That's an easy thing to say, but him saying I'm gonna buy and him saying I'm gonna sell, Jim Cramer saying this, Kathy this, and whoever that saying like it's all about you doing that final click, right? So I don't care that he said he's going to sell. I like the setup we got right here, all right? So needs to confirm, but let me tell you what I think confirmation looks like, all right? Hey, real quick, if you can subscribe, if you can share, oh man, it does wonders with these algorithms, all right? So I don't even actually know where to start. Where I want to start is here. And I don't know the exact day, but CHWY had earnings. All right. And, you know, I literally just said it a couple seconds ago, and it's kind of funny that the opposite is happening here. But I have always found that after earnings, you either just get this amazing wave up or a horrible avalanche down. And it actually kind of looks like the avalanche was starting after earnings. And it's beautiful to see that the 3 moving averages were actually strong enough to potentially hold it, right? Again, we still need to confirm, and I'm going to get to that shortly, right? But that's nice right there, all right? I like today for 2 reasons. Obviously, the first reason is, yeah, we did close over the 8 and the 20. Yeah, we are sitting over all 5 moving averages, right? But what I really like is this is a nice candle after a doji. All right, that's something I say all the time. A doji, especially when it looks this picturesque, a doji screams uncertainty. A doji is not sure, and this one to me says, I don't know if we should go up or lose them and fall all the way down here to under 23, right? I like the gap up over the 20. I like the close over the 8. When I look in the box over there, the high of the day was $28.01. We closed 4 cents under that at 27.97, right? So there is some good strength. Obviously, we're under my resistance line. Obviously, we are not over the biggest candle to the left just yet, but this was an important recovery. All right, tomorrow needs to close, I think, here. I think we need just under $1 to make me feel comfortable. I want to get over $28.75. I do. Let me see if it's worth raising that line. I just want to see where I drew it. Yeah, we can raise that. I think that's fine. I want to get over the biggest candle to the left. And as I look here, that'll even put me over 50% of this candle right here. I like this line, 28.80. I think if CHWY can get over 28.80, there is a lot to like. We have a positive MACD. Red is over green, but yeah, you get me over those lines. I'm going to believe that we're going to get green over red. We are already seeing that green over red flip on the RSI, and yeah, 56 is very low. We were just as high as 75. Even if we don't go into the 80s, a move from 50 something to 70 something, that's a nice move on the RSI, all right? And hey, look, we still haven't made a good move with good volume. If we can add some volume to this tomorrow, oh, that's where things can get interesting. And truth be told, I can see the volume picking up if we can get over that 28.80. Because from there, there's not a lot stopping what looks like an almost 20% move, right? I'm adding about $4 there, and it's about $5 for that 20% move, right? So that's not too shabby right there, right? So big wall coming. What does it look like on the weekly? Oh, look at that. Look at that. We are testing the 100 moving average on the weekly. Oh my goodness. We have not had a good candle over the 100 moving average on the weekly since October of 2021. Oh man, if CHWY can do something it hasn't done since October of 2021, that is well worth attention. CHWY, I'll be honest, I did not look at it at the weekly. That was actually fresh on this video right now. This daily is what caught my eye. And again, what actually caught my eye the most was the fact that it was able to recover after earnings, especially given those 4 ugly candles right there, right? So CHWY, I really like this setup. I do. Just give me a little more volume. Give me one more green candle tomorrow. Make me believe that we have taken all 5. You break all 5 and you fly, right? That's what we're looking for here, all right? CHWY, interesting setup here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you know anything about the earnings. Please shoot them my way. I obviously didn't look at the headline, so I don't know what those earnings look like, but yeah, I like this chart a lot, all right? Man, we're already at 23 minutes. I wanted to do, let's just do it real quick. GNS, all right, I will be honest. I could easily like fake brag about how good that 75-cent line was and like blah, blah, blah. No. I will be honest. I see absolutely nothing here that would have signaled today was going to be a big day. All right. I'm zooming out. I don't see anything. In fact, I would even guess that 75-cent line was drawn before the 1 for 10 reverse split. I'm looking at the weekly, and again, there's no educated reason why I would have drawn that 75-cent line. So for real, I am not trying to take any fake credit, and I'm going to go ahead and delete all the lines because, yeah, I think that 1 for 10 reverse split was an interesting thing. So look, hey, sorry, real quick, if you can subscribe, if you can share, oh, it does wonders with the algorithms, okay? To me, I say this all the time, right? You fall away from the 8, you come to the 8. You fall away, you come to it. We fell away, we kind of came back to it, right? And like, to me, that's not the type of trade I'm a fan of making. But I mean, red made it a pretty easy green, right? Maybe getting over the close of this candle, which closed at 69 cents. No, duh, that closed down here. The open of this candle, which opened at 73 cents, maybe that would have triggered something. Maybe the close of this one down here at 74 would have triggered something, maybe. Again, the way I personally trade, I have no triggers off red candles, right? So the one thing we'll maybe take a look at, oh man, all of this happened in like a 2 hour span too. It did. Yeah, there's a technical thing here where you broke those three and make your way there. You obviously break the 100 and you go to the 200. I feel like this looks more like a pump and dump than any. And look, I see this going up after hours, another almost 10%, right? I actually would be more worried about this falling to 80 cents than I think I sincerely believe it coming up all the way to $1.07. You can see that's where the 20 moving average is sitting right now. For sure we get green over red. For sure we get green over red. Obviously a big volume pop, right? But we've seen big volume only to come down and then obviously fizzle, right? Like we've seen big volume only to come down and just stay down, right? We've seen the bigs just to come down. I feel like I don't think this is giving me a reason, all right? This is the best candle we've seen in a good while, just zooming out, right? This was probably the last good one right here back in March. So I don't know. The next target up would be 107. If 107 breaks, maybe I would wait for about 112. If 112 can hit, oh man, that might run to the 160s and that might be a trade worth doing. But personally, I think it's a little hard to like it under 106 and again, I sincerely think it's going to come down to 80 cents even though we're still going up after hours and already pushing 95, right? So, I got to call my wife. That was her on the phone right there. I at least wanted to finish the thoughts here because you're all family just like she is. So, hey, let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you saw some news that justified this. But yeah, I really didn't, all right? I appreciate you so much.